and this is my welder. It's a Miller-Matic 150. There goes Sheba. And I bought this when I was in high school to work on various things. So, you know, even as a younger guy, I was interested in upgrading my tools and my capabilities. And I made this nice wooden shelf that fits over the top. Since you don't need to open it very often unless you're changing the wire or something, I made this little shelf so that I had more storage space for helmets and the gloves and the sleeves and whatnot. So, though I did recently upgrade to a self-darkening helmet. It is a Harbor Freight item, but it is very effective, and it's hard to imagine welding now without a self-darkening helmet compared to the flip-down system that, you know, I used for years before. This is just so much more convenient. Allows you to start the weld with no uncertainty, essentially. So that's my welder. So here's another little welding project I've got to do for a coworker. His mower deck here, the bracket tore off, kind of like that one, and there it is. Should be on something like that. So, it shouldn't be too difficult. It's pretty thick. It's not really rusted through. It's more like a stress fracture of the welds, and not so much that it rusted through. So, alright, so prep work for the welding is done. I hammered it back into shape a bit on the big ball peen. And I ground away some paint and rust on the part, on the bracket, and on the deck using my Ryobi 4.5-inch angle grinder, which was an amazing deal at a yard sale for $5 last summer. I had it marked 10, and it was their last day of the sale, and they were moving. And I said, well, will you take 5? And they said, okay. So I was happy about that. Previously I was using a Harbor Freight POS, and it was very cool to upgrade for so little money, especially considering it came with a bunch of cutoff discs and grinding discs and a wire wheel and all the accessories. So great deal. Alright, so that's the underside of the weld. You see where I was blowing through right there? I had to build it up some from the other side, and you can see where the old weld is there in the middle, and a little blob that came through there. So I'm going to weld some from this side now, and then grind it smooth, so it'll be a real good repair. Alright, so there's the welding on the inside. I put a little extra material in there. It has to be ground away. I kind of struggled where it went vertical on the side there, but there's plenty of material there. I just have to grind that down a bit. So I'm sure it'll hold together now. And here's the welds from the top side. There again, I'm not a professional welder, but I think it's stuck pretty well, and I'm pretty sure this one will break off before that one does. And that same coworker had another minor welding need. This is part of the blade adapter for a Honda push mower, and both the tips had busted off of this, so I added some weld, and they need grounded down a little bit to shape. It doesn't have to be perfect because they go into pretty good sized holes, but poor guy, both his riding mower and his push mower broke at the same time. Well, only had one injury from the welding, and you can see I think the metal's still in there. But while I was gripping the MIG gun, a blob of molten steel got between my finger where it was gripping the gun, and you can see it burnt a little bit right there, and then it dug in and cauterized in right there. Hurts a little bit, but you know, I guess I should have wore gloves.